Dear God, please help me cope with these memories. They are so painful.
When Nicole Bromley was 15, she started writing down her prayers. It was the only way she could escape the painful memories of her childhood. Her stepfather began molesting her when she was just 8 years old.
He had asked me if I wanted to play a game of cards. He said that each hand, if whoever won, got to tickle the other person. But then the tickling became aggressive and uncomfortable and in places that didn't make sense to me. I felt dirty, I felt damaged, and I didn't know why. A couple of years after that, he began showing me pornographic movies. I'm thinking, this is gross, this is weird. You know, why are you showing me this? My stepfather would tell me that he was teaching me that this was education, that this is what good dads do for their daughters. This is just something that happens in family life.
Nicole had become a Christian early in childhood, but she didn't understand why God never stopped her stepfather from touching her.
As I was going through abuse, I can remember thinking to myself, you know, this God, this all-powerful God, this loving Father, why am I going through this? Why would you let me suffer in this way?
A year passed, and then another, and then another, and Nicole didn't tell a soul. Over the course of 10 years, the molestation became more frequent. Eventually, Nicole found the courage to tell her mom, Cynthia.
She asked me if he had ever touched me. I hinted to the fact that, yes, he had. My mom slammed on the brakes. She pulled the car over to the side of the road, and that was the first time in my life that I knew it was wrong.
Cynthia reported the abuse to Child Services, but she knew Nicole's stepfather would be furious, so she and Nicole went into hiding.
He cared about his reputation in our community, and I knew that he felt like his life was over. Everywhere we went, it seemed like my stepfather was trying to find us. I knew that if he found us, he was going to kill us, and I was fearful. I mean, constantly.
They were in hiding for just 1 week when Nicole's stepfather gave up the search. Instead, he took his own life.
I was very angry, and I began running around their house screaming, "I hate him, I hate him, I hate him." I was so furious that he would never face what he had done. You know, that he had taken this easy way out, that I had found the courage after 10 years of abuse to tell, and now he would never face justice for what he had done to me.
She realized that only God could help ease the painful memories, so she decided to turn to God for comfort. And that's when she began journaling her prayers.
I knew that it was God that was comforting me. You know, I felt it deep in my heart and my soul. Every time I read the Bible, anytime I wrote out my prayers in my journal, I listened to worship music, I felt safe. I never felt safe my entire life, and I knew that this was coming from the Lord. And it was like the more that I felt his comfort, the more I wanted to know who he was. I realized, you know, that God didn't cause this to happen. God doesn't cause this evil in our lives. That's something I came to understand, that he was hurting when I was hurting.
Nicole says God helped her realize something else, that she needed to forgive her stepfather.
Whenever I thought about him, whenever I thought of my childhood, there was a lot of bitterness there, a lot of resentfulness, hatred.
She then had a vision from God.
My stepfather got down on his knees, was tugging at the Lord's robe and asking, truly asking for forgiveness. He was repenting for what he had done. I saw God turn around and forgive my stepfather and come right back and comfort me. And that vision that day made so much sense to me. I knew that God would forgive him if he truly repented, and I felt that I'm not above God. I must forgive as he would do.
Nicole forgave her stepfather. She says that doing so allowed her to move on in her life, and now she's married and has a son. She's also started an organization called One Voice, traveling to college campuses across the nation to help other survivors of sexual abuse find healing and comfort.
I don't believe that without Christ you can have genuine healing. to where you have freedom from your past. I don't believe that you can have healing in your heart and in your relationships. I believe that those things are only possible with a relationship with Jesus Christ. I know that He's the one that can take our pain. You know, He took it on the cross, and He'll take it today.